Season 13 of Overwatch is finally here. Blizzard has put out a ton of changes to the game, hoping that they can make it better, but have they actually made the game better? There's been a lot of people saying, and you can take a look at the comment thread itself, took y'all long enough. Sombra lost most of her kit. This patch doesn't do anything for counter swapping, and many more things just like that. If you actually take a look at the changes, they did a ton of different things with a bunch of different heroes. They did a bunch of things with maps. I think it's going to shake up the meta quite a bit, and they also just did some nice quality of life things, such as the shop update. If you haven't looked at it, mythic skins, they got a cosmetic added to it. You can basically buy it. I highly recommend looking at it. Like, for example, I love the Tracer one. It's like a gold Tracer. It looks super nice. Highly recommend looking at that. I first off think that is a massive W. Obviously, they got rid of the Overwatch League tab. That's understandable. Overwatch League is not a thing anymore, if I remember. But also, in tank role, they buffed Mauga. They buffed his gun, the ignite damage. It now does 4 seconds of burn damage instead of only 3 seconds, like the duration. Gonna make his damage a little bit more higher, a little bit more consistent. That's a little scary. I do not like playing against Mauga. Character is very annoying to play against. I remember when he first came out, how broken he was. Well, I guess he was not really good for the first little bit, but then he was broken for like two seasons. It was just mad annoying. Like, for me, I'm just burnt out of Mauga. I don't really appreciate it. I'd rather play against Orisa, but hey, that's probably just me. Also, they changed Ramattra, a little bit of a rework. I consider it a nerf, okay? But it's technically an adjustment. His pummel, like whenever he punches now, does not pierce barriers, but instead it does 2.5 more damage to barriers. I don't really like that change because I always played Ramattra a little bit more assassin-y in the sense of like I'm hitting the supports through the barriers, not necessarily the tank. And now you can't really do that as much. I don't personally like the change, but hey, I haven't been playing the game the most the past couple of seasons, so if Ramattra's been a big issue, that probably makes a little bit more sense. Also, they nerfed Reinhardt. They made his base health, like on his shield, 1500 instead of 1600, 100 HP change. Probably a little bit of a nerf. Honestly, I think it was probably a little justified, even though I love Reinhardt. I think metas with Reinhardt are very fun. He just, low-key, has been feeling very unkillable in my games. Like, it's actually really annoying, especially when I've been playing. Like, he's either just a balloon, instantly pops, or he's just unkillable. And I feel like he's been a lot more unkillable as of recent. They also buffed damage characters like Hanzo. His base health got increased from 225 to 250, 25 extra HP. That is a big buff for Hanzo. I personally don't like that change. I think Hanzo is really annoying to play against. I believe they got rid of his one-shot. I don't think that's a thing anymore, but he does a lot more consistent damage. I just remember the times of literally Hanzo's with the RNG. They just keep shooting their arrows and they're luckily headshotting. Like, that is some of the most unfun things I've played against Hanzo. Not very fun to play against in my opinion, but hey, maybe he really needed it. Personally, I don't think he did, but if it helps the players, it helps the players. That's understandable. This next change I don't get though, because Sojourn I feel like is actually still pretty good, but they changed a lot about her. They made it so her energy stops regenerating or degenerating at 25 energy, and then the time before it starts degenerating went up by like 5 seconds or something like that. Like it's 12 seconds now. It used to be 7. And her disruptor shot, her E, the damage got increased. Now does 80 a second instead of 60. That's a pretty good change. But also 25% of the damage goes to her railgun energy, which I actually do kind of like. Very nice. Sojourn right clicks are super satisfying to hit, but also Sojourn is such an OP character when she is strong. She is not fun to play against when she is strong. I do not like playing against her when she's strong, but I will admit she does take quite a lot of skill. I'm not the best at hitting her right clicks, but she's so satisfying when she does. Sombra, she low-key got completely destroyed this patch. At least I think so. I think it's justified. Sombra is super annoying to play against. As a support main myself, I have had so many times with the Sombra's perma-hacking you, diving you, you can't see her, she's running away. Ever since they did that mini rework to her a couple of seasons ago, it's just been a nightmare to play against her, I can't even lie. She's not been the most hated character from me, in my opinion, but I understand why she's getting these kind of changes, especially because, let's be honest, most people can't really play against Sombra that well. She's always invisible, so it makes sense. But they basically just changed it so she doesn't have permanent stun, and she doesn't have permanent invis, and she only gets invis whenever she throws her E. And then they buff the cooldown of her E as well. I think that's perfectly okay. They also increased her EMP. ult cost. Now it takes 12% more to get her ultimate. I think, honestly, I'm okay with this champion getting nerfed to the ground. For people that play Sombra, I'm sorry. You guys have had your fun for way too long. Go play Tracer or something. Tracer is so much fun too, and I feel like that character is fair. I don't think Sombra's necessarily unfair, but she's just not fun to play against. That's the thing, is she might not necessarily be the most OP character in the game, but she's not fun to play against. So I'm perfectly okay with getting rid of this character for at least a little bit. Also, for supports, Baptiste, he got little recoil reduced. I feel like that's probably pretty good. I feel like for the most part, Baptiste is a little hard for players to play, especially when they try to do like that 2-shoot and then heal combo. I didn't really have a personal issue with it, but hey, let's be honest, some people do. That's perfectly okay. That's perfectly understandable. I'm okay with this. It's gonna help him just a little bit, make him not feel as clunky, in my opinion. Brig, her cooldown for her repair pack got increased from 5 to 5.5 seconds. That's a lot for her healing. That's one of her main sources of healing besides just hitting. So that going up a little bit does nerf her quite a bit, but also I've seen her quite a lot. I do understand it. I'm okay with that. It's probably just bringing her down just a little bit. That's probably okay. Also, Juno, her Meta Blaster, the fall off range got decreased a little bit, and her healing projectile went down from 6.5 to 6. I feel like that's also probably good. Even though, me personally, I don't think Juno is the most impactful character in the game, I also understand she's probably like the best character in the game if you can play her correctly, if your team plays with you. Okay, hear me out. If the team plays with you, I think Juno's really good, just like Lucio. But she does have her moments. She does have her moments. I feel like this change is okay. Let's let some other support shine for a little bit, you know? Now, next massive change into this game is they've done all the map updates. Map updates are something crazy good. It's just small things, but it just makes maps so much easier to play into. First off, they changed Circuit Royale. That map is super annoying sometimes, even though I kind of like the map. Super annoying for characters like Ashe, characters like Widow. All these snipers, you're always getting sniped. I promise you, in all my ranked games, 9 out of 10 games, I'm always seeing Widowmakers, always seeing these hit scans. You can never get them because they're actually shooting you from Afghanistan. Like, it's impossible to kill them sometimes. Little bit more cover to play around. Hopefully that helps. I very much hope so. So they changed Circuit Royale with that. They changed maps like Dorado. Havana also got changed. Numbani got changed. All of these maps just got some extra things, removed some trees, added different things. It's going to make it a little bit harder for Widowmakers to go crazy. And if you haven't seen a good Widowmaker, honestly, it's probably because you're in like silver or something. No flame, okay, I promise. But if you've played against a good Widowmaker, you know how miserable that shit can feel sometimes. Playing against good Widowmakers make the lobbies feel so frustrating to play, especially when like you're a support and you can't really do that much. Sometimes it happens. Look, you can always switch and do different things, but sometimes it's just so miserable to play, and I hope that this change just makes them a little bit more in line. That's kind of about it for the patch notes. That's just basically changing up Overwatch for the Season 13. I really hope that this changes the game and makes it feel a little bit more better. Me personally, I haven't been playing the game very much the past couple of seasons. It's just not been as fun to me anymore. I don't know why. Maybe I always go through some phases where I played a lot for a couple of months and then I don't really play it for a couple of months. But the game just got really frustrating for me in the sense that, like, it's obviously, everyone says it, like I'm playing these games and my teammates are inting me and blah blah blah. It's just, for me, the games, even when I'm winning and I'm doing really good, the games just weren't feeling good to me. Like, I wasn't having fun, even though I was like destroying people or like doing really good. I just wasn't personally having fun, and that's not something I want to do while I'm playing games. I hope these changes make that feeling just a little bit better. It feels just not as frustrating to play against sometimes. Hopefully that changes it, because honestly, if Overwatch keeps going down this route, I know that they're looking at making the game back to 6v6. And look, some people like 6v6, some people don't. Personally, I would probably say 6v6 is probably okay to go back to at this point, or at least attempt. Okay, I really like the 5v5 format, especially when Overwatch first came out, but the whole counter-swapping meta and all that shit, you pick Winston, they're going instant Reaper, instant Bastion, instant like Zenyatta. That's not fun to play against. Let's be honest with you, that's not fun to play against. I'm not a tank player, so I haven't struggled against that as much as other people have, but I know when I do play tank, it is not fun to play against in the slightest. It just feels like you're constantly getting counter-picked into. It's not good. Also, massive change. They made it so it's 15 seconds that it will show like on the tab of a character swapping. That's going to help with counterpicking a little bit, and people are kind of pissed off that it's not going to really help out with it. Like, let's be honest, it doesn't really help out that much, but guys, let's be honest, it's baby steps, right? Like, we gotta take this one thing at a time and we'll just slowly change it. Now, should they have done this in season 13? No, they probably should have done this in like season 7. They should have done this seasons ago. But guys, at least they're attempting to do something. Like, it's baby steps. And I mean, it's perfectly okay to feel justified in your opinions of saying the counter swapping thing. Look, I completely understand it. But guys, it's baby steps. Hopefully that they can just get everything under control. Hopefully everything will be okay, because I promise you, Overwatch at its peak and Overwatch when it is so fun, definitely one of the best games I've ever played of all time. Overwatch 2, when it first came out, that beta 2 with Junker Queen, best time I've actually ever played Overwatch 2 in my life. That game was so fun. The games can be so fun at sometimes, but they can also be so frustrating. And so I really hope that this season can bring it a little bit more towards that fun instead of frustrating, because for me personally, if this season is just going to feel as frustrating as it is, I'm probably not going to be playing it very much. And I don't know when I'll be playing it again, because it feels like for me every single season there's just so many frustrating things that happen in this game that it just doesn't feel fun to play. But hey, you never know, this could be like the greatest season of all time. Honestly, you have no idea. It could be, maybe. I really hope so. Hope it's a good time for everybody. But hey, that's about it from me. I'm gonna hopefully make another video on Overwatch. Let me know any of your feedback and suggestions in the comments. Even watching this video this far, I appreciate you so very much. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Or hey, just watching the video up to this far means so much to me. So hey, guys, I'm not gonna keep you guys any longer. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Hopefully the Overwatch grind goes well for you. Let me know. Have a good one.